Okay.
Okay, but I don't see anything on my side.
Nothing's on your side yet?
Okay, I got
there
it.
we go.
There we go.
Ta-da! There's always this little delay thing going on. And be sure to turn that other volume off on
Oh,
the
yeah, that's right. Sorry.
laptop.
Sorry, guys.
That's
Echo,
all right.
echo,
Echo. Ah, the joys of virtual worlds. Hey, we shouldn't be too hard on it. It's our means of bread and butter now, isn't it? Thank goodness for the internet. That's all I can say. Hi guys, welcome to Twitch again. Happy Earth Week. We're getting there. We're getting there. Things are starting to, we're not over we're by no means are we over this hump yet, but I think hopefully people are feeling a little more positive about things. I think if we just mind our manners and keep our masks on, we'll be okay. So anyway, here I am, and I think, I'm just going to start with a rowdy one. I decided to pick all the kind of nature type stuff that I had out there. I've got a decent amount of it. But one of the songs I haven't done for a long time, no offense to the vegetarians out there, just saying. I love you, and it's a great thing that you are sensitive and kind-hearted as you are. Some of us are still happy being predators and carnivores and such, and so this is a song that I had written since I'm a very fond fan of venison. Now, mind you, I have never hunted myself. I refuse to do that until I know for a fact that I am literally, no pun intended, a dead shot. I have handled a firearm before. I know what they can do. I've handled a bow and arrow. I know what it can do. I would prefer to bow hunt if I had my way. But until I know that I'm good at it, I'm going to let someone else do it for me. But this is a little song to celebrate all of you hunters out there. And don't be too hard on us. Don't be too hard on us, because some of us are actually, we get it. We do get it. And you can look at it as something awful, or you can look at it as something that's just sort of the circle of nature. Some of us need to eat meat in order to survive. And so there you go. That's as much as my that's as much as my little soapbox is going to bear, I think, today. Sound the horn loudly, call the hounds. We will ride proudly through hunting grounds. Who shall win? Blessed stag or mortal kin? Fast through the winding woods we push. Flash of a tail within the bush. For the stag is swift and the stag is fleet, and he hears the sound of thundering feet. Here then gone, clansmen cry, the hunt is on. It is more than sport tween beast and man, for the stag is sacred to our clan, and we dare not risk the forest's ire. Kill them, we best not fire. Here then gone, landsmen cry, the hunt is on. Sound the horn loudly, call the hounds. We will ride proudly through hunting grounds. Who shall win? Blessed stag or mortal kin? The death be clean as life's released, so we show our honor to the beast. For your own death you will understand, when you hold life's blood within your hand. Here then gone, clansmen cry, the hunt is on. Though we draw a bow and wield a blade, respect the code that nature made. For we know not when the shadows fall, and the hunt gone. Landsmen cry, the hunt is on. The hunt is on. The hunt is on. All right. There really is truly an understanding when you do that. I think sometimes if more people actually understood firearms, that we might actually have less problems in the world than we do now. But most of the time, it sounds like, to me personally, that the people that are going off on a binge are people that have actually probably never shot much at all. They just get it and start pulling the trigger, and they have no idea what they're doing. So, this is another little song that comes from a more serious world. Stephen Barnes is a wonderful fantasy author. He actually does a live Facebook stream where he counsels a lot of writers and gives them inspirations on how to write, but he also just kind of does life coping inspiration as well. I would recommend that you check out his Facebook someday, Stephen Barnes. He usually does one like every week or so, and he does it with his wife sometimes. He wrote a fantastic series, and the first book was called Lion's Blood. And he asked me to do music for the book. And we actually did it together, where normally that doesn't happen. Normally the book gets written and I write music based on the whole story, but he was still writing the story while I was writing the music. So the two of us got to be able to work together. And ever so often, some of my songs will show up in the story, and then ever so often ideas that I had will also show up in the story. And when he described to me what he wanted, he had this alternative universe where history was not as we understand it. Alexander the Great didn't go on to do what he needed, or he didn't die, I think, when he was supposed to die, and he went on and did other things. And Egypt itself grew into a very decadent, overbearing world, and there was an African Islamic culture that sent plague ships up the Nile and basically ended up dropping all of the most of the Caucasian races down to minorities. And then, of course, as countries recover and grow, the African Islamic culture was the majority, and they were the ones that developed the technology to go to the New World and settle it. And of course, they used slaves, just as history had done, except that it was reversed. And you had the German and the Irish and the French and the Spanish being enslaved. And when he told me this, and I said, "You're enslaving the Irish?" And he said, "Yeah." And I go, "That's not going to go well." And he goes, "That's the whole point." It's a beautiful story. It's not easy reading. I will warn you ahead of time. It is very, very deep and very strong, very passionate. But it is worth a read. And like I said, the book's called Lion's Blood. One of the songs in it, he actually used my idea, because when I asked him about the slaves, he said, well, there's going to be a few Sufi masters who have decided that rather than destroy the slaves' families and take their names and make them into nothing, they're allowing them to keep their families intact and keep their names and keep their religions. As long as they all go over there to that little piece of the forest and all, worship together. Well, you've got Christian and pagan and Jew and everybody all gathering over there in that forest, worshiping as one. And I thought, So I designed this song where all of the working men come in to a circle in the forest and form a circle and then leave one little opening. And while they're singing, then in come the women and the young folk of the slave village, and they add their voices to it. And then come in the elderly and the children, and they add their voices in the center, and each one's protected by the outside ring. And he put that in the book, actually, which I thought was fun. And this song sort of comes from that particular scene, but I changed it just a little bit. It's called We Are Bound, and this is the rewrite version of it. The original appears on my album, actually Heather Alexander's album, of Lion's Blood, which you can get on Bandcamp. Shameless plug. And this song has been slightly rewritten so that it applies to here and now in this world, where, yeah, in spite of our religious differences, we really are all one and all bound together. So. Eastern sun, southern fire, western rain, northern star, circled within, kith unto kin, we are bound. Walk we now through this glade, as our ancestors made. Here lies revealed, our truths concealed, we are bound. Sea and stone, salt and loam, hearth and home in us resounding. Pressed are we to be different, but then still we be blessed beyond mortal ken. To be freed and reborn once again, we are bound. To your lives lay your hands, though we tread many lands, still we may part, heart unto heart we are bound. Sea and stone, salt and loam, hearth and home in us resounding. Severed still, yet of one great accord, of one will, of one law, of the Lord. By the cup, by the cross, by the sword, we are bound. Sea and stone, salt and loam, hearth and home in us resounding. So, there you go. This is another one that from long, long ago, goodness, way long ago. There's a wonderful friend of mine who's, I don't know if she'll be able to be watching right now, but if she is, she'll recognize this. She was one of my, actually I think she was my very, very first fan. My very first music fan. We're talking high school years now. And she was my very first fan, and she was the first one to hear this song. And it'll probably bring back memories. It's called Emerald Green. is a river from whence has come man's birth. It was here at the dawning of the earth, a beauty as such no man's eyes have ever seen. It's the symbol of what life could be, and all those who can feel it are free, though there are some of us who can't see what it could mean. While it flows, grows, and glows in emerald green. Calls to some like music from afar. Others look up and they'll see it in a star. Its power is kept as a sword, sharp and keen. It comforts a heart so forlorn, mends a lost soul that is torn, and from its waters love and life are reborn, bright and clean. While it flows, grows, and glows in emerald green. Brother, friend, and lover to my heart, be not fearful should any of us part. Nothing between us or love shall come between. For of this wide river we belong, each of us carries its song, and it gives us the will to be strong beyond what is seen. For inside we flow, grow, and glow in emerald green. That was a long time ago that song was written. As I said, we're talking high school years. Very young, very innocent. But you know, we might not be able to keep all of our innocence, but we can still hang on to our truths. And we can still be aware of the fact that we aren't all us and them. Everybody's all connected. You know, you're connected to your friends, you're connected to your enemies. And it's something to, consider. Like I said, a lot of times you find somebody misbehaving and it's basically just because they're scared or they've been hurt and they're thinking that something bad's going to happen. So they think, I'll do something bad instead. Not the smartest choice, but some of us can't always make the smartest choices. Anyway, so this song I did on Facebook a couple days ago. I did it actually on Earth Day itself. It occurred to me when I was practicing for today's Twitch. It was Earth Day when I was practicing. I thought, I should probably do this song. This one I actually wrote for Selena Fox. For those of you that know Selena Fox, she's a wonderful Wiccan priestess who lives up in Wisconsin and has this 100+ acreage called Circle Sanctuary. And it's beautiful. And I had the pleasure and honor of being her bard for a brief time while I was staying in Wisconsin, and I enjoyed it very much. And she was celebrating Earth Day. She's very quite the Gaia Earth Mother. She is very aware of this land and this dirt and this stone that we walk on. And she loves it, and she tries to remind people that it's worthy of our care. And I know that, one of the advantages we've had with this COVID-19 is that for a while we stopped flying airplanes as much. We stopped driving our cars as much and stopped sailing our boats as much. And it was amazing how fast she recovered from all of that. She's quite a powerful planet, Gaia is, and we should treat her a little bit better, I think, sometimes. But so this song I wrote for Earth Day and for Gaia and for all of us. It's called Move in Unity. Stone, and upon the land we are as one. Breath and wind blow free, Mother Earth and me move in unity, and it is done. The dance within the circle has begun. Oh, 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 oh. Spirit fair, move our bodies blessed by moon and sun. Perfect love can soar, fueled by Gaia's core, waged against a war that will be won. The dance within the circle has begun. Oh, 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 stone, and upon the land we are as one. Breath and wind blow free, Mother Earth and we move in unity, and it is done. Dance within the circle has begun. Oh, stone, and upon the land we are as one. The dance within the circle has begun. That is on my Patreon, I believe, as well. Most of these songs, I think, are on my Patreon or on an album. That particular song is going to go along with the We Are Bound rewrite. Eventually, in my copious spare time, when in the middle of making other albums, I will be putting out a sacred music album on Bandcamp, and it will be completely free, but free download, because sacred, you don't ask for money for sacred work. It just isn't done. So that'll be out there someday. I just haven't gotten all the pieces done yet. But it's getting there. It's getting close. So I think I have about enough energy to do one more song. Because I will be honest, I am getting better from double knee surgery. But there are days, and sadly today was one of them. I have been grouching around all day long going rats and frats and rats and frats, and my legs hurt. I don't want to do this, rats and frats. And, So it's been one of those days. But thank you guys for coming. And I don't know if since he's put it up, if you don't forget to put up the little exclamation tip pot to let everybody know where to pay me, because yes, I will be honest. This is what I do now once a week to make up for all of the gigs that I got canceled on. I'm trying to put in for some of the small business loans that they have, but they keep using up all the money before I can get all the paperwork done. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've taken a nasty financial hit, not the least of which was to lose the Oklahoma Ren Fair this coming up month. I would have been for the whole month in Oklahoma. And the reason that people are like, why would you go to Muskogee, Oklahoma? They pay me well. Well, they would pay me well were they having the fair, but they're not. And there's been other fairs and stuff in the future now. We just got some more future cancellations. I am not at liberty to tell you what they are because the announcers have not officially put that out there. But bear in mind, there's still going to be cancellations as we go along here. We are not out of the woods yet. So mind your manners, wash your hands, wear your masks. Because your masks are not, remember, when I see people, I know I've been soapboxing a lot today. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe it's the pain meds. But when I go out there and I'm walking around, I've only gone out twice in all of this. I've only gone out twice to go shopping with Sansi. And when I go out and I see people without masks, I have to be very mindful because I take it as a personal insult. That mask is to protect your friends. You are doing that because there is no way. We've already discovered, we've already proven, there is no way to know that you've got coronavirus early in its stages. You feel fine. A lot of us feel great. And we walk around and we like, and spit it out to like tens of other people, which then goes spit it out to tens of other people. That's how this happened. So if you love your family, if you love your friends, if you love your fellow man, wear a mask right now until this thing is done, until we know that we've either got a vaccine or we can get this thing under control quickly. It's not worth the chance. It's not worth seeing loved ones pass away, elders go before their time. So yeah, that's the thing. And I've been kind of cranky, and but all in all, I've been very blessed because even though they were kind of looking at us askance here in the state of Washington going, oh, you had the first coronavirus. No, we actually didn't. California did. They just found that out a couple of weeks prior to Washington. California had 2, and both of those women died from the coronavirus. But I've been lucky because I am here. I am in the Northwest, and people are relatively well-minded here. There's a few rebels. There always is, and those are the ones I kind of give the cranky face to because I think, oh well, you don't like humankind then because you just want to spit your germs all over the place. But most of us are trying our best to be mindful. Most of us are wearing our gloves and wearing our masks and smiling underneath it. You can see it in the eyes. So there again, my soapbox, I keep getting up on it, keep falling off. But I just wanted to end with this song because this was another song that came out of the Lion's Blood album. But for me at the time, it actually meant something because I was moving exactly at that same time. I had found my first home in the Northwest. It was beautiful, and I fell in love with it. I am looking again to find another spot like it. I think I can. There's lots of beautiful land up here. And I think when the time is right, I will be introduced to the land that I am supposed to steward. But until then, I'm missing my beautiful little forest acreage that I used to have. But when I wrote this song, I had just gotten that forest acreage. I had just seen it. And when I described it, I said, Stephen asked me, he said, what's the place look like? And I said, it's a funny little house. I said, it's a little timbers cottage. It's, quirky, and there's no perfect right angles anywhere in the house. But I said, there's not a bad view out of any window. You can look out and it's all green everywhere. I said, and the sun just kind of comes through and just lights everything into emerald. Well, apparently he liked that phrase and quoted me in the book. He used that phrase with, there are 2 heroes. One of them is a Sufi and the other one is an Irish slave. And he gave that phrase to the Irish slave, who, it's probably not giving away too much at the end, but at the end of the book, Kai and Aidan have been friends, childhood friends, and then enemies, and then friends again. And then at the very end of the book, Kai gives Aidan his freedom to go to the New Northwest and find a home. And so there was a lot of that sort of feeling in this song. And I still find that it still applies to me now. I am still very, very drawn to this part of the world. I've been to a couple of different places now and looked around and never found anything that resounds quite as strongly as here in the Northwest. So this is my Earth song. I stand a free man, I, finding it too hard to lie. Your regard pleads me to stay, yet still I must make my way. God has answered my one plea, I will walk forever free. We must part, heart to heart, though still we will always be. Rock and water, fish and tree, calling loud and long for me. From the land where I'll be blessed, a home within the new Northwest. From the truth we cannot hide, I cannot stay by your side. You will have to let me go, knowing all that I now know. Secrets we both have a few, this one I have told to you. Salt and loam, hearth and home will give to me life anew. Rock and water, fish and tree, calling loud and long for me. From the land where I'll be blessed, a home within the new Northwest. There's a time, I know not when, separate paths may cross again. Eyes will meet and hands will clasp. Pain this day will lose its grasp. We'll both have our lives and still of this bond not have our fill. Trust, my friend, in the end it's all up to heaven's will. Rock and water, fish and tree, calling loud and long for me. From the land where I'll be blessed, a home within the new Northwest. There's the land where I'll be blessed, a home within the new Northwest. Thank you very much, my Twitch fans. I will see you again probably next week. Remember, like I said, be good, wear your masks, wash your hands, and put a little bit in the tip pot if you like. PayPal.me/Alexander James Adams. Or get on my Patreon. You can do that too. And I always tell people, in case there's new Twitchers out there, you've just joined in, and maybe you don't have a lot of money because you lost your job with this coronavirus, and that's okay. If you don't have anything to put in the tip pot, I'm okay with that, because this is the only way I can give back to everybody else. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not even a grocery clerk like my lady is. I'm just a minstrel, but I can make you smile. and I can make you maybe forget things for a little while. So that's my gift to you. If you can't put anything back, that's okay. I'll just let you pay it forward some other time. Thank you very, very much, and I'll see you guys next week. And remember, if you miss this, or anybody misses it, you can always share this with somebody. You want to tell them about it. It's going to be on my Twitch page for about a week, and I'll put it up on my YouTube after this, and it'll be there forever. So, all right. Thank you very much. Talk to you guys later. Good night.
Okay.
Okay. How many people did we have?
31, I think.
Yay.